the central bank governor, Godwin Emefiele, who is embroiled in the whole allegation about financing terrorism. And now the House of Reps has summoned him 2 times, and he's declined, or rather, the first time he talked about going to the United States with the president on a special assignment, and that he won't be able to attend. And this time around, that was December 15th, the first summon, and now they've invited him again. He has refused. He was supposed to appear yesterday, but he couldn't make it, and of course sent a letter to that effect saying that his deputy should represent him. But you know, the House of Representatives would like to hear from the horse's mouth that they do not want to hear from any representative. But looking at all of this, this is one of the most powerful people in the country. Talking about the CBN governor, he's in charge of the finance of the country, and him, you know, being embroiled in this kind of issue of terrorism financing. A lot of people have read political meanings to it, though, saying that it's because of the whole policy he's coming up with, the redesigning of the naira, the cash limit policy, saying that is against, or is working against some politicians, and so the politicians are the ones fighting back, trying to witch hunt him to take him out of office towards the 2023 elections, so he doesn't achieve all of his aims towards ensuring that there is no, our elections are less money driven.
Yes. Well, the question is, can these politicians get him out of office? Not even the president in that sense. But here's the thing.
Well, we saw the SSS stopping them from arresting him.
Exactly. Here's the thing. I think for Emefiele, he's been some sort of controversial figure over the last 1 year.
Remember he contested
exactly,
for president.
There were talks of, oh, it was going to contest, he was mom, didn't say anything, and the next thing was, oh, okay, no, it was the Farmers Association that, you know, donated funds to purchase the, you know, presidential ticket and all, I said ticket form and all of that. And there were concerns at the time that should the CBN governor even be partisan to start with, you know, and that died down over time. Now we had those policies in place. For so many, you know, economic pundits, they didn't really have issues with the policies. It was about the timeline of the implementation of those policies in terms of the new Naira notes and the redesigning of the notes, as well as, you know, the cash withdrawal limits. The timeline was what most economic pundits had issues with. And looking at how the state of the economy is, there were those who think that it's not the right time. There were those who thought that it wasn't the right time, rather. So he's been in the eye of the storm, so to speak, in recent times. But you do not want someone who is heading such a powerful position. You know, I mean, your CBN governor being accused of financing terrorism is not what you want at this point in time. So you would expect that the presidency should look into this, the president especially, you know, in terms of these accusations, and then there should be some sort of investigation.
Some people have even said that at this point he should have stepped down. That looking at the fact that there are allegations to be looked into, to be investigated, and most times when you're a public office holder, all eyes are on you, and you're supposed to set the pace, lead by example. So when issues of allegation of corruption, of terrorism, and all of these unbecoming acts are leveled against you, what is expected of you is that you step down so that you're looked into. Then when you come out clean, you can be reinstated into office. But we know that if he steps down, then that would be gratifying the will or the wish of some political bigwigs, juggernauts, who have been said to want to take him out of office. We don't know how true it is. It looks like an allegation until it is confirmed. But they are saying that it's looking like these political juggernauts are trying to take him out of office so that the 2023 elections, they can have their way and have it monetized as usual.
Well, you can't dispel that, you know, speculation really, because you look at the way our elections have been, you know, conducted over time. It's been heavily, in fact, if there's another adjective to call, you know, that qualifies, you know, the word heavily, you probably want to use it. It's been heavily monetized, and we know how cash flows and all of that, you know, is carried out during the campaigns and the election itself, in terms of vote buying, vote selling, and all of those things. So with the cash withdrawal limit, you can easily tell there were those who also came up that this is easily targeted at politicians when, the policy was announced. So you can understand why it looks like, in quote, corruption is fighting back in that sense. I think for Emefiele, as I said earlier, he's been like a controversial figure, and he hasn't probably covered himself in glory.
Actually, so it makes it difficult to even defend him.
Exactly, it makes it difficult. Getting him out of office will probably have to do with something, massive like this, if investigation is carried out and it's true. Because remember, the CBN
there have been
has
several reasons to even get him out of office before now.
Well,
ever since his first term, the first
exactly.
5 years.
The CBN has governor has a 5-year term and then can be.
This is the second term.
Exactly, but the president can't even sack him in that sense. So you just have to look at all of these things. If the investigation is carried out and the pointers, or is found culpable, then definitely it will probably have to be suspended.
That would be really
it will be
sad.
It will be sad. It will be terrible.
Because he's in charge of our money. So if he's financing terrorism, that is huge.
Exactly. My problem is this administration over time hasn't shown that political will to investigate its fellow members. And when I mean fellow members, I mean those working with the government, like ministers and what have you. Remember, the CBN governor is not the first person to have been called out for financing, or allegedly now.
Ali Sapatami was
exactly
also
the Minister of Digital Communication, and nothing came out of that. I mean, this is the same administration that had the infamous Honorable Off Your Mic. Nothing came out of that. I mean, you have a minister being questioned by parliamentarians about, the spendings within the commission he heads, and he decides to call out other parliamentarians who were, beneficiaries of whatever sham or, scam that was perpetrated within that commission. And the presidency didn't say anything. That same minister was still in office until it decided to, contest for presidency of the presidential ticket of his party before he stepped aside due to, the Electoral Act and all of that. So it shows you that this administration does not have that willingness to really go all out in investigating its own. And I think that's why this may not see the light of the day in terms of conducting a full investigation to find out the truth behind these allegations. That's still allegations, quite all right, but this is a massive allegation. It's not,
but he has an obligation to answer to the House of Representatives. If you're summoned, you should answer to them.
Well, yes. I mean, if you go by the stand first from the headline on the Punch paper, the rep said he has to appear or send the deputy, which is tomorrow, Thursday. So we would expect that a deputy will probably be there. But that's just...
But would that cut it, having his deputy on ground?
That's one thing. Another thing would be, are they going to interrogate, on the basis of these allegations, or it's just about the policies? Remember, it's about the cash withdrawal limits that the interviews or the invites rather were sent out in the first place. So
and the whole cash withdrawal limit, the redesigning of the naira is still generating a lot of controversies because now we have the counterfeit out there, the fake notes are out there, and the CBN is saying that the new notes have not circulated because of the counterfeit in public, and they're talking about releasing all of the security features, maybe to help people identify. But should we be talking about identifying the original right now when the actual aim, the objective of even redesigning was to fight counterfeiting?
Exactly. That's why it's surprising, because you also look at it. December 15th was when it came into circulation. Today's 21st. By 19th
it was already
exactly.
The news was already everywhere.
So in less than a week, you already have counterfeits everywhere. And you're wondering, I mean, how did it get to, the hands of the saboteurs and the criminals who, engage in counterfeiting of the notes that quickly, to the point wherein they've made several counterfeits and it is now out there in circulation. And
Nigerians are not even willing to collect or accept the money because of that reason. So there's still a lot to be done. We know that, yes, the CBN governor is probably doing all of this to ensure that we have free, fair, and credible elections in 2023. But he also has to answer to the allegations. Let's be sure that we have the right people in position, because that position is a very delicate position, and we don't want all of these allegations about terrorism surrounding that.
You see, as I said earlier, the political will is not there from the president, who is the commander-in-chief, who should be, you know, the father of the nation, who should lead by example.
I believe if the House of Reps wield enough power, if they're able to pull this through, then they should be able to get the right answers from the CBN.
Well, let's see. Again, you want to ask yourself, how sure are we that members of the House of Reps are not even culpable? Remember, I made reference to the infamous Honorable Off Your Mic. I mean, Godwin Emefiele was sitting right there, staring at the faces, and it was beginning. It was about calling out names. In fact, it was calling out names.
Yes.
You know, there was a female parliamentarian there who was lost, and she was wondering what's going on. You know, and she told her, you know, just leave that. You don't understand what's playing out before the whole thing. So if that could happen and nothing came out of it, what's the assurance that something substantial will come out of this, even if the reps are involved? Because it looks like they're all, you know, involved. Let's hope again that there will be a thorough investigation into this, but it's not good that the CBN governor is being linked with.
It's really a mess.
You know,
it's a mess. Terrorism isn't one crime you want to link someone who is in charge of the finance of the country with. Well, we'll take a break now. We'll come back to discuss other issues. Stay with us.